When I think of all the things that make me like an anime, the concept of tone and how that tone is handled and shifted throughout a story is something that I perceive as being a big part in how I find it entertaining. Personally, I have a strong dislike for the Jekyll and Hyde main character. I dislike Vash the Stampede of Trigun, as well as Abel Nightroad from Trinity Blood, because they spend most of their screen time as this clumsy, idiotic buffoon, when in reality, they're badass. Yes, I am acknowledging that Vash is a badass as much as I've pooped on Trigun in my life. Even someone from one of my favorite anime, Ed Elric, is guilty of this to an extent. One of my favorite shows of all time has moments where I almost have to cringe because when people call him short, he goes off on these tantrums with wonky animation and yelling and usually some stupid fisticuff bullshit going on. Is it funny the first time? Maybe. But in my opinion, it sort of detracts from the story that's going on and the art in a way. I get these things are what sort of makes anime unique. And this is never more clear than when they do live action anime adaptations, and they try to have the characters act in the same manner that they do in the animated series, which is something that I consider a big no no. Part of what makes anime awesome is that it pulls off stuff that live action can't do, in terms of like how people look and like action sequences and stuff like that. But and when you try to do those in live action, like it just ends up cringy. And I respect that. But are corny jokes thrown into an action series and scenes of dumbed down animation really that necessary? Like do Ed's rants really like add that much to it? Like I don't know. It's not something that makes it like I still love like Brotherhood. I still think is like a 10 out of 10. So don't think I'm like saying that Brotherhood is bad, but it's just something. If I had to nitpick something that I didn't like, it would be these, and it's something that I feel like when you're trying to introduce anime, perhaps to people that haven't seen it before, these things might you know take something away from their enjoyment because it's just so kind of different and weird. And if you embrace that, you embrace that. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't argue to get rid of tone shifts altogether, but I think that knowing when and how to do a tone shift and how to have it not be cringy is a skill perhaps not present in the repertoire of every director out there. Akiyuki Shinbo is one example of someone that I consider that like I think he can do tone shifts really well. Two good examples of this are Madoka Magica and March Comes In Like a Lion. Now in Madoka, it has some good tone shifts in the sense that it's everybody knows the infamous I think it's episode 3, where a lot of shit just really starts to hit the fan, and you think it's sort of like going the show is going one way, and it sort of goes another way, and it's brilliantly executed, in terms of art, in terms of how the characters react to the situation, in terms of how it's led up to and handled after the fact. Um, both this show and March Comes In Like a Lion um, walk the line of being like one mood and then change like roller coaster tracks. We'll get a scene that like makes you laugh when your eyes were just full of tears, or they change from whimsical magical fantasy to a grim reminder that death and danger do exist, even for magical girls. Hell, one of my favorite scenes from a horror series even involves this crazy tone shift. There's a show called Another, that involves this random song and dance number in the middle of a classroom. Um, and it adds some comedy to the show, and I felt like it was fine. It was well executed. It was sort of out of the blue, but it was done well. Interesting tone shifts like that can add to a series and make it more realistic because in real life, yeah, different emotions happen, and I want to experience different emotions when I'm watching a show. I don't want it to be just like painted with this one brush of negativity or even just positivity or just like stuff that's just makes you sad, like because I don't get the appeal to watch something that makes you feel just one way. I think it's important to have a myriad of emotions during a show. It can add catharsis and intrigue to a story, and I want that in my anime. What I'm tired of are boring, monotone, pretentious storylines. Give me more Okabe from Steins Gate, who can seamlessly talk about Dr. Pepper and fight to save those close to him, and experience horrible tragedies along the way over and over again during his endeavors. Give me more, Rei Kiriyama, somebody who struggles so much with his own self-loathing that he sickens himself from dehydration. Then, in the same season, will have funny conversations with his teacher about finances and his lack of a social life. I want less Akame ga Kill, where character deaths you're supposed to care about and get the negative emotions are just immediately followed by a boob gag or a food joke, cliche anime bullshit. Like, look how much food she can eat. Isn't that weird? She's still small. Like, that's never been done in anime before. There's a smart way and a dumb way to do anime tone shifts. And let's not continue to accept the cliche. Could we please stop accepting mediocrity? And if you are a creator out there, try to excel from the mediocrity. If you're writing your own novel, if you're, I don't know, doing your own webcomic or something, if you are creating something, try to avoid the steps that are cliche. It's probably hard, I would imagine, but try to be unique. Try or take influence from people who are already unique. Don't necessarily copy them, because then you're gonna create cliche at that point. But yeah, that's my thoughts on tone shifts. If you agree with me, let me know down below. If you disagree with me heavily, I'm sure you're gonna let me know down below as well. A big thank you to all of my patrons. I don't think I'd be able to do this. I don't think I'd have the confidence to do a lot of this without a lot of the support that I've been getting ever since I started doing this channel. And I can't thank you guys enough. If you have it in your heart, please consider donating to my Patreon if you like what I'm doing here. Thank you to Nea Chan and J Chip from the J Chip Show for kindly donating this month. I'm working on you guys' recommendations. That's one thing that you can do if you donate to my Patreon. You can request for me to review and talk about something on here. Thank you to Mew for this nice, cool art that you're seeing right now. That it amazes me every time I look at it. So I can't thank you enough. And thank you everybody for listening. And my name is Miasma, and I'm signing out.